Welcome to step number 11 along the practical path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. I'm Bill Sklodowski. On the path today, the power of making a different decision and developing personal discernment.
I'm Vicki Wagner. Also today, it's okay to say no and to establish priorities for yourself and your own life.
Thanks for joining us. Let's get started on today's path. Welcome. This is The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. I'm Bill Sklodowski, along with my co-host, Vicki Wagner. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Bill. I'm great. How are you?
We were just talking before we started the recording. I had an interesting morning. Apparently something disagreed with me that I had for dinner last night, and I paid the price for it this morning. Let's just put it that way. So I've had a cleansing of body and spirit.
It's a positive way to look at it.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. I feel so much lighter now. Awesome. Yeah, I know, right? All right, no laughing. Come on. This is serious business. So anyway, I'm good. Thank you for asking. We've been, I don't know about you up there in northern Georgia, but down here in north central Florida, we have been, it's like monsoon season. Every evening has been heavy duty rains.
Ooh.
And it's been a little bit crazy, but that's all right. Thankfully, pickleball did not get rained out on Sunday evening. As we record this show, we record it midweek. So anyway, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Well, I saw the greatest. What's that?
I was going to say, I hate to burst your bubble, but it was so cool up here. I had to sit on the deck with a blanket.
You texted me that last week that it was, I don't know what, down in the 50s or something.
Yeah, it was 58.
58 degrees in northern Georgia of the mountain. I'll be there in a week or so. Unfortunately, I'm going farther south. I'm going to visit some old computer clients in Sarasota and Venice at the end of this week.
Oh, nice.
Thankfully, just be there for like one night, but I'm going, as if it's not warm enough where I'm at, I'm going farther south where it'll be even warmer. So great.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. So. You are always sending me pictures of your dog, Mr. Max.
Well, of course.
Of course, I know. And I saw, and this has nothing to do with personal or spiritual growth. Well, it kind of does, but I just saw it the other day and I thought it was hilarious and so true. And it was a quote, and I don't remember what social media platform I saw it on, but it was a guy with a dog in his lap. And the quote was, "You may not know this, but all dogs are therapy dogs. It just so happens that some of them are doing it freelance." Right?
That's Max.
That's it. He's a therapy dog.
All
dogs are therapy dogs.
They really are.
The vast majority are just doing it freelance. They're not getting paid for it. Some dogs, they wear the uniform and they have the little vest and they have, they're doing the thing. They're, going around visiting kids in hospital rooms and stuff like that, which is awesome.
Oh, they really are wonderful. Yes.
I for some reason, and now that I think about it, it's on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, which is now X. I'm on Twitter and X. And I've subscribed to a few dog related accounts because you can't watch crazy politics on social media, but without pulling your hair out after a while. So I balance that with fun stuff like cool cat videos and dog pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't have a dog now. I've had many through my life, of course, as a kid. We don't deserve dogs. They are too good for us. They really are.
Yeah. They're the best.
They really are. And they love us no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The things that I'm so impressed with is there'll be a video of mom and dad bringing the brand new baby, and I mean human baby, home to the dog. And there's this gigantic, like German Shepherd or something who's looks like a police dog, big and muscular and mean. And he will softly, gently, quietly nuzzle up to that baby, sniff it a little bit, sit with it, and I'm like, how do they know that? How do they get that? But they do. They have, I don't know, dogs. We don't deserve dogs. That's all I'm saying. They are very, very special souls, whatever they
Yeah,
are.
they truly are, and they're very intuitive.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
very intelligent, very intuitive, very sensitive, very protective.
Mm,
Um, yeah, they're special. They really are. And
right.
Max is a character. He really is. He just cracks me up.
Right. Right. I think he's there to, I think he's in your life to keep you amused. I think
Really.
he's just there to keep you like, now what? Kind
I
of a thing.
know.
And yeah, yeah. And then I've seen with your husband, Rick, it'll be one way or the other. Either Rick will chase the dog or the dog will chase him. And it goes
Oh
back and
yeah.
forth up and down the steps, all over the backyard, everything like that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
I,
yeah. Max initiates games.
yeah. Yeah.
And he doesn't like when Rick and I hug because
Oh,
Rick is his man.
oh,
I'm invading his space. So he
oh,
will jump on my butt. Never Rick's, but he'll jump on mine. And it's like, listen, Buster, I had him first.
right. Right. So anyway, shout out to all you dog owners out there and all you dogs listening. We know we have dogs listening. We appreciate you. It's just I don't know why I mentioned that. I just did. I just saw that quote and it was so touching and interesting and all of that it helped. It was fun. Anyway, it was cute. So thank you for that.
Yes.
So anyway, so that's the show, folks. Thanks for coming. Oh no, wait, talk a little bit more.
You're in a mood this morning.
I know I'm in a strange mood this morning, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Well, no, there's a couple of reasons for that, and most of them was my stomach issues this morning. But that's another story for another day because we're not doctors and we don't play them on TV. Now, I will say, and you're going to hear it later in the show because I'm going to edit the show. I always edit a little bit with every week to make things a little smoother. But starting this week, but I'm also going to go back to prior episodes because I can edit them before they get released to the public, that we're going to start a new little giveaway as a thank you to our listeners. And last week, again, if you're listening in order, last week, on that show, we had a big discussion about motivation and about getting your act together when you just don't feel like it. And I came across some information and I've put it together into kind of this little report. I don't know it's not a book. It's not long enough to be a book. It's not a single page. It's longer than that. So we're going to have this little giveaway where, and check the show notes for this page on this episode. And in fact, I'm going to go back and edit them. You can check show notes on all of them. A little, for lack of a better word, a little special report and a workbook on how you can generate more motivation in your life. So keep an eye open for that. And it's a free giveaway. We're going to give, and we've got some special gifts that go with it. And it's going to be really kind of fun. And I look forward to releasing that to the public later today. So there you go.
That's great.
Thank you. Thank you. I think so too. And I think our listeners will appreciate that. We talk again, I'm happy to revisit that because I've had moments this week you and I had quite the discussion on motivation last week. And I've had some moments this week where I've been like, oh yeah, let's go. Let's do this thing. Let's whatever. And then again, some moments where I've been like, I don't want to do nothing but sit on the couch and watch a baseball game or something like that. And even that's kind of boring. So any additional thoughts on that? I mean, where this whole motivation thing comes from or what, what it is for me? I'll just throw this out and I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
When it's something that I am both interested in, I know you would say passionate about, and I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, for some reason, it still needs to strike me in a certain way. And I don't know what that is because there's a lot of things I'm interested in and passionate about, and I'm not doing them at the moment. But then this thing came along Interesting. Motivation on motivation. How crazy is that? This project came along where I'm like, okay, I want to build this new web page and I want to add this special report on motivation to it. And I literally spent the whole day at the computer just a few days ago, cranking that out, making it look pretty, getting it all set, getting the website set up, all those things. And it's like, oh, so this is what motivation feels like.
Or were you just ready? It just felt like it was time to do it.
That's a big deal. Yes. Talk more about that. Am I, because I don't know that I want to be like sitting around waiting for inspiration to strike. Sometimes you got to be a little more proactive than that. Am I making that up?
I think that you're making it up. It's some days, we're more motivated than other days. And to me, it's okay to say, you know what, today's just not the day, because if you're not feeling it, you're not going to get anything done.
Right.
So I think just kind of cutting yourself some slack and going, okay, you know what, today's not the day, but I'll just get everything out. Sometimes you just get everything out and just kind of
Right.
sit in a pile. So, you walk by it and you go, okay, well, I'm going to do this. And then you keep walking away. But it, I don't know. I think it's just when you're ready,
Right.
sometimes it's just, okay, today's the day for whatever reason.
Right.
And you just go, okay, I'm going to get this done today. And to me, that's when everything just falls into place. So I don't know if I'm answering the question right or not, but that's how I am. Sometimes I just look at things and go, yeah, no, I don't think so. And then
Right.
the next day I'll go, oh, okay, today's the day. I don't know why. And I get everything done.
Right. Right. I, you did answer the question, so don't worry about that. And yet there's still some times when I feel, well, I was going to say one of the dirty words that we hate saying on this show, and that is, I should feel like doing something. Ooh,
The big should word. Oof.
I know. It's not the best. It's not the best way to motivate yourself or anyone else. You should be doing this. So of course I should be doing that, but I just don't darn well feel like doing that. So,
And is
yeah.
that okay? Is that okay that today is not the day?
Well, it's okay that today's not, but if I string 4 or 5 of those today's not the day in a row, now we got a bigger problem.
Yeah, now you got a problem. You got to look and go, why am I not motivated? Do I really want to do this? Does it really matter to me? Is it going to make a difference in the world? So maybe it's a project that it doesn't, float your boat, as my father-in-law used to say,
Right.
unless it's already passed
Right.
away. So, sometimes, we get these big ideas and then we look at it and go, yeah, it just doesn't feel right.
Right.
And
Right.
which leaves you open to, well, maybe there's something else that I should be doing or could be doing.
Could be doing. Yeah.
Something that
Um,
really, stokes the fire, so to speak.
right. Right. And I recognize that in me, that that if somebody needs an idea on how to do, not how to do, on what to do next, on what could I do about this thing? What could I do about that? I got ideas all day long. I can crank out an idea on something in a minute. Now, the doing part of that idea, that's another story. And I know I mean, if you were to see my desk here, I've got lists of notes and ideas and best practices on, like I said, I'm building a new website for the show.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I want to do this and this and this and this. Okay, cool. Now that note is going to sit there on the desk for a few days until I get around, quote unquote, get around to actually doing something about it. And like you said, after a couple, 3 days, is it that important to me that it is. I mean, it is important to me. At least I'm telling myself it is.
Mhm.
Maybe I just need to be more honest about prioritizing what's important and what needs action right away. Interesting thought.
That could be it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you are very good at what you do. So sometimes, it's like an idea has to kind of like, kind of stir around in your brain, to go, okay, do I have all the parts? Is everything there? Or, and then there's other times where I go, this just feels good, and you do something and it gets done in 10 minutes.
Right.
So we're human, and we all have human moments of motivation, of laziness, of what the heck, or let's go for it. So I think just be kind with yourself and go, okay, I'm going to get all these ideas together, and when it's time,
Mhm.
it's just going to put itself all together.
Right. Right.
I
And
think,
and
oh, go ahead.
no. I want to hear the end of that. Go ahead.
Well, I want to say, I think sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves to perform, to
Right.
have something to do, to be productive.
Right.
And maybe your mind and your body saying, you know what, today's the day to just be lazy, chill out, relax, just slow down a little bit.
So we're giving you permission to relax and slow down a little bit, but we're not. But it's not an unlimited ticket, I guess, is the
Oh,
answer.
yeah, it's not unlimited, because if
Right.
something needs to be done, you got to look at it. So maybe cutting it up into little pieces.
Right. Right.
One little piece here today. Okay, that felt good. So, and leave it somewhere where you see it. So you can't like stick it in the closet and say, okay, I'll get to it, tomorrow, which tomorrow is like a year later, you know. I
Right.
think
No,
I
I
bet
get that. I get that. And I think I mentioned this last week, that book that I read, Atomic Habits, James Clear, he talks about that sort of that little breaking it down into little manageable chunks thing,
Yeah,
that if there's something, a bigger project, okay, what's the minimum thing that I can do right now to move me in that direction? Again, it, like you said, doesn't have to finish. It doesn't have to be a complete thing. Although he talks about it in terms of like even not strange, but even non-work things, like I want to go to the gym every other day, or I want to go out and for a walk every other day. All right, what's the minimum thing I can do? Well, I could put my shoes on, and then it's kind of like, well, I got this far. So, your brain
right.
kind of builds on the small steps.
Well, yes, builds on the small.
And I think for me, I think that's kind of how my brain works with things. It's like when I was working on the website thing the other day. Um, it's like, okay, first things first, I have to buy the name of the website. And by the way, we are the proud owners of thepracticalpathpodcast.com. So
Awesome.
coming soon to an internet near you, thepracticalpathpodcast.com. It's not ready yet,
Well,
but
it's in progress.
it's in progress. That's exactly right. And, the other day I had to, okay, what's the first step? I got to get the name. So you got to go to a website hosting company that, you probably seen the ads for GoDaddy or whatever. And you go there and it's like, okay, is this available? No, that one's already taken. Is this available? No, that one's already taken. Okay, how about that? Oh, that one's available. Oh, cool. I'll buy that name. And so then there's a lot of technical stuff behind the scenes. That's not important. What's important is you're making at least the first small step to
Yes,
getting going on the bigger thing that you want to do.
absolutely. And with doing that, also adding to this is be proud of yourself that you took that step, because that also builds up the motivation and the incentive to go, okay, wow, that feels good. What other thing can I do now?
Right. Right. That's like the put on my shoes thing. I want to go jogging, but all I'm going to do is put on my shoes.
Next,
But
you
hey,
open up the
maybe,
door.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And okay, I got my shorts now and I got my water bottle and I'm ready. Oh, okay. Well, look, I'm this far. What the hell? I might as well go
Yeah,
for it. Yeah,
go for it.
exactly. Exactly.
So those little things really do add up. And I know I've used this reference before of the sand. Everybody's impressed by the beach, but
Right.
it's every little tiny piece of grain of sand that collected to make this, beautiful sight of the beach. So it's the same thing. So every little thing that you're doing, know that it's adding up.
Right.
And if you're having, like a day where you're not motivated, okay, just be kind with yourself. Make some notes, or something, reminders. And tomorrow, set the intention of, okay, tomorrow, let's see, maybe I can get a couple of these things done. What can I
Right.
do?
Right.
So,
Right. I
but I
have
do, yeah,
a friend of mine, his hack for that. And now that I think about it, I tried it once or twice and I'm going to start again. And
Okay.
that is when he's closing up for better or for worse, here I am in my little bachelor pad apartment. So, if you could see behind me, I don't know, nobody's watching on video, but if you could see behind me, there's the couch and the TV and the, exercise bike, and all of that is literally right behind me. And my desk is over here in the corner of what would normally be the dining room, and et cetera, et cetera. So I don't have far to go when I walk from the office to the living room. That's one of those work from home things. My thought was, and what my friend does, which is I think brilliant, and I mean it's not his idea, he's just doing it, is that every night before he's done here at the desk with work, whatever time that is, because sometimes I'll work in the evenings, until 7 or 8 o'clock, and then go watch some TV or whatever. Get a little piece of paper, get his pen, paste a piece of paper. I'm holding one up. Nobody can see it. I'm holding it up for visual reference, and just write down 2 or 3 things that I want to do tomorrow.
Yes.
And that way in the morning, I sit down here at the desk, I fire up the computer, I get my coffee, I plop myself here in front of the desk, and there's that list of 2 or 3 things. Oh, there's a couple of things I could do today, right now, to get started on something. So
yes.
And I know that doesn't work for everybody in life, because some things are regular, get up, walk the dog. I know for you, get up, walk the dog, whatever, feed the dog. I understand that. That's good. But I don't know, bigger. I don't know if it's bigger. I don't know if what you call it, bigger and more important. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's just some things that you might want to think about doing.
Yes. And writing them down is a way of, keeping yourself on task, so to speak. And then you choose which one of the 3 or 4 things on the list you want to do first, which may motivate you to do the next one. Well, I'm already doing this, so what the heck, I'll just throw this in.
Right.
And before you know it, you've got everything done.
Right.
Yet, again, be okay if you have a down day. That's just part of being human. So be kind with yourself. You go, oh, I didn't get anything done today. I'm, such a slob, blah, blah, blah. No, maybe you just needed a down day to recharge yourself. And, I've said it often enough. We charge up our phones all the time. We got to recharge ourselves. So if you're having a recharge moment, that's okay. What are you going to do, after that?
Right. Right.
You can't be a couch potato all the time.
No, I tried. It doesn't work. I've tried and it doesn't work. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. The problem is if you don't do anything all day long, you go to bed at night and you don't sleep because your body is like, well, we've been taking it easy all day. There's no sleep. What's that? So I know. All right. That's a whole nother can of worms that I'm not going to open up at the moment. But yes, I think that there are a couple of little things that you can do that just will keep you, I'm not going to say on track, but at least give you some clues, give you some hints as to what you might otherwise be doing. And part of that, I found an article online, and part of that is the opposite side of that. What does he mean?
Yeah.
Part of that is the ability, maybe cultivating for some people who don't have it, the ability to say no to some things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because I know for myself that if somebody asks me to do something, my answer 99.9 times out of 100 is going to be yes. And it often, I'm not going to say often, but I do notice sometimes when I'm doing something for somebody else that it's like, well, but you said you were going to do this other thing over here for yourself or one of your other projects, Bill, and now you're taking time out of your own thing to do something for somebody else.
Right.
So saying no is a powerful and important skill. Yes?
That's a biggie.
It is.
It is. That's one that a lot of people struggle with because we always want to be nice. We always want to be kind, be available. Yet sometimes you got to say no. And sometimes when somebody wants you to do something, they just don't want to do it. So they're finding you that the yes person, it's going to do that for them. So, it's like I said, nice to say yes, and I'll do that for you. But sometimes you got to say no, because by saying no, you're actually giving them the opportunity to feel better about themselves, to try things, to move themselves forward. And a lot of times by saying yes all the time, you're actually enabling.
Enabling. What? Oh, the other person.
You're
Say more
enabling
about
the
that.
other
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
And they have the ability most likely to do it. So how are you enabling them by always saying, yes, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it, by saying, no, today is not a good day. Well, maybe this is how you can do it. Let me give you some ideas, because there's some people out there that just don't want to do things for themselves. So to me, it's like taking advantage of people. So to
Right,
say no is actually taking care of yourself.
right, right. And here we go again. Maybe this podcast should have been more along the lines of what you did as a kid that totally screwed up your life nowadays, but that's too long to fit on a website name. What happened to you as a kid that screwed up your life? I don't know, whatever. This article that I was reading, after a couple of personal stories, he gets into some of the meat of it, which is, and I'm quoting here from the website, we are told from a very young age, here I go with the kid thing again.
Mhm.
We are
Yeah.
told from a very young age that we are not supposed to be selfish. Girls more than boys and mothers more than anyone, but all of us experience this pressure from society. What we are less aware of is the pressure from inside us, this
Mhm.
instinct that many of us have that our own needs and desires are things to be ignored, neglected, and silenced. We might call it people pleasing, but I think that's not quite right. Yes, the consequence is that we please other people, but that is a very superficial analysis of what is really going on, that it is not necessarily where the compulsion originates. The compulsion might originate in the silencing and starvation of our own needs and wishes. Ooh, that's
Wow.
deep. The
Yes.
silencing and starvation of our own needs and wishes.
Yep.
So, yeah, in order to build a better life, a certain degree of selfishness, of prioritizing needs and wants over others is necessary. Not all the time, not in every circumstance, but enough of the time and in enough of the circumstances that matter most to you. And
Mhm.
the author of this article, and I agree with him, says, I am not suggesting abdicating all responsibility or being cruel, but part of growing up and becoming your own person involves discovering your own desires and priorities and ensuring that you are living the life you want to live rather than the life others want you to live.
Oh boy, that's a biggie. The
And
word I
it
heard is boundaries.
boundaries, right, right.
Hmm.
This thing I can or will do for you, this thing I won't.
Yes.
Right. And I think, I don't think, I'm sure that the important part of it is, as this author just described and as I read, you got to figure that out first. You don't just react in the snap moment. Well, I mean, you could, but it's probably better to give it some thought and, like, okay, start with yourself. Like,
Yes.
if like me, like I've been talking here for the past few minutes about how I've been working on this website project for the podcast and all of that. All right, that's important to me. That's a priority to me. That's something I want to get done this week or this day or whatever. All right, cool. If something comes along and some friend or neighbor or whatever asks me for some help with something, now comes the important decision, right? Now comes the important, how long is it going to take? How much effort is it going to be? Can I do it right? Whatever. I mean, I get it. So the ability to say no
Yeah.
nicely,
Nice. Of course.
nicely. Yeah. You don't want to be a jerk about it, but yeah.
Well, I feel that's again setting those boundaries of what feels right for you. Also, it's a way of saying, you're capable of doing it yourself. Why don't you give it a try? See what
Right.
you can do. So that's
Right.
like supporting them and encouraging them to say, you've got the capability, you know. So it's boosting maybe their self-esteem to say, here's maybe some ideas, give it a try. Plus, what you're doing is you're loving and respecting yourself as well. And I think sometimes we just give so much that people get in the habit of, oh, they're just givers. So I'm just going to, keep asking and asking. And sometimes I don't realize, that it's taking a lot out of the other person by always asking. So I think by setting these boundaries and having, kind of like the line in the sand, is saying, okay, I'm busy today. I'm sorry I can't help you, or I've got this going on. And being okay that, maybe, you know, you're teaching them a lesson of how they can be independent, how they, self-assured, and building their, self-esteem to go, you're capable,
Right.
let's see what you can do.
I obviously never had this experience. I'll ask you because I know you did. How did that work for you as a mom?
It's
Because the final article or one of the final paragraphs of this article, and then I want to hear your answer. This is again the author, I sometimes find myself struggling with this every day as a mom because although I find it hard to say no, I also know that a child who is never told no is robbed of the opportunity to learn that being told no is a bearable, survivable, and often helpful experience.
yes,
In other
because
words, you get to figure it out yourself.
well, the expectation, they expect everything.
Right,
Rick and I, we raised our boys to be independent. We
right.
raised our boys to think about themselves. If they fell down, we said, okay, how are you going to get yourself back up? I mean, obviously would be there, if it was something
Sure,
major, but, just, the cliche of if you fall down, how are you going to get yourself back up?
sure.
So the boys know how to cook. They know how to wash clothes. They know to be respectful. They're the first ones that'll help people, but they also know that sometimes people have to help themselves.
Right, right.
And so we raise them to think of the consequences of everything. Okay, if you make a choice, what's the consequence?
And obviously that, as you, the parent, that takes a little bit more work.
Oh, it takes
That's
work
it,
because, you go somewhere and they say, well, I want this. And it's like, okay, well, what chores did you do this week that, we would give them a little bit of, money so that they learn about money and so forth. We say,
sure.
how much do you have that you can spend and do you really want it?
Right.
Okay. So, which is, another, choice and setting those boundaries and making them responsible. Everybody's responsible for their own actions. So if somebody's always doing it for somebody, what are they learning? So the boys learned a lot of no's in their life. They also learned a lot of yeses, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah, we tried to find that line of responsibility and also, being available to help other people if, that was truly needed.
Right. Right.
So it has to be practical. How much are you giving that you're actually, making people dependent upon you versus how much are you encouraging them to say, I can stand on my own 2 feet.
Right.
I can do this and to learn and to grow from that. So
Yeah,
it's not being
it's
a parent.
important. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's important. So like everything in life, it's a balancing act.
it's a
It's like
balance.
how much you give. And again, if you're the one that's being asked for help with something, how much do you give? How much do you encourage versus saying, just I can't help you with that or whatever. I mean, yeah, it's a balancing act. That's all I'm going to say. And
Absolutely.
every situation is different and every relationship is different. So you're going to have to figure it out as you go along.
Well, yeah, and if you have to say no, saying it like, no, I'm sorry today, I don't have the time or
Right.
whatever, if you need me, maybe another time I can help you. You
Right.
always have to make sure you're taking care of yourself because
Right.
you can get depleted so quickly. And especially as a parent, it's a lot of work. And you
Yes.
always want your kids to be happy, yet reality is they're not always going to be happy. They're not always going to get everything that they want. They have to learn how to, really, they've got, I see you laughing, but they've got to learn how to be responsible, how to be independent and also to be compassionate if somebody really does need help, that they know that they're going to help them and, the person is going to appreciate, what's being done for them.
I laughed because I remembered I had a memory of some friends of mine way, way back, 30 years ago, maybe more. I don't remember, but a young couple with two young boys. Not you, but that we knew, that I knew. And one of the young boys came to mom. I mean, he was 4, 5, 6 years old. I don't know. I'm terrible with ages. Mom, I'm bored. And with a straight face, she turned and looked at him and said, learn a little about boredom. And that was it. She had nothing. I'm like, wow, that's either the greatest lesson I've ever heard or really just, I don't know what else it could have been. It was a great lesson. It really, be bored. Okay. I'll be bored for a while. Wow. That's interesting. Okay. I don't know.
So there's the motivation to go, okay, well, I've been bored. Now what do I want to do?
Right. Maybe that's the one for me. Maybe that's why I remember, because I've been bored the past couple of days and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't want to be bored anymore. Maybe I'll think of something to do now. I don't know. Maybe I'll not think. There's the Master Yoda moment from the very first Star Wars. Do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah.
So for me, it's kind of do or do not. There is no effing think about it. Ooh, I like that. Oh, I'm writing that down. Okay. All right, we're past the halfway mark. See, we always wonder what we're going to talk about, and then time just evaporates. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break for a second. I have to go and refill this coffee because apparently it's helping. So go refill your coffee or do whatever you need to do. We will be right back. Welcome back. This is The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. Coming soon, actually, by the time you hear this, because we record a little bit in advance, so by the time you hear this, the website, thepracticalpathpodcast.com, will be up and running for your visiting pleasure. I don't know what's going to be there, but, hey, we'll figure that out as we go. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you, Vicki Wagner, we talk about this all the time, that you do, well, tell us what you do and then tell us how folks can get in touch with you. But I know you and I were having a conversation this week about, you had some wonderful session with somebody, with a client, and was, did some miraculous turnaround of their life in a few minutes.
Yes, it was amazing how quickly this young man just changed his perspective. I do intuitive guidance and oracle card readings combined with intuitive guidance.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I offer. And would love to hear from anybody that would be interested. So they can contact me by calling or texting my phone number, 239-248-0586, or emailing me at Vicki, VICKI, Waggoner, WAGONER 53@gmail.com.
There you go. And all of that is, of course, in the show notes. And
Yes.
like I said, I'm also working on some new videos. That's another thing I've been a little motivated to do, which is create some more videos about keeping people safe online and that sort of thing. And you can find those on YouTube. Just do a search for Bill's iPhone Tips, all in one word, Bill's iPhone Tips, and you'll find my channel and all of that. So there you go. So yeah, I know you talk about the change of perspective a lot, and that's one of the big kind of foundational things for this whole show. But what does that mean for somebody? I mean, when somebody comes to you, I mean, you're not going to just say, oh, we need to change your perspective, because they don't know that. They don't. I'm in a marketing group, in an online sales and marketing group. We have a bunch of people who do a mastermind and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yours truly, when somebody will tell me their latest and greatest idea to sell something, I will tell them, look, nobody wakes up in the morning, springs out of bed and says, oh, today's the day I have to buy a new house or buy a new car, or I'm going online to find the next what. Nobody does that. And yet we recognize somewhere that we have these, like there's something gnawing at us, something chewing at the back of my brain, that it's like, this just isn't working out. So, I mean, how do you and maybe that's something that is different for every client that you have. But, when somebody says, gee, I think, there's something going on in my life and I don't know what it is, how do you address that with somebody?
Well, first I ask what is going on? What is the issue that is causing you some, concern or, uneasiness? And when they start talking about it, a lot of people look at the dark side of things. So I always turn it around to go, okay, well, maybe this is dark and this is happening, but have you looked at what have you learned from it? How can you grow from it? How can you change your perspective on it to find the positive in it?
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know,
when are you just talking about personal issues or something? I
it
mean,
could
they
be
lost a family
anything.
member, they got divorced, their kid hates them, whatever. I mean,
Whatever it is there's always a lesson in everything. I believe that 110%. That, and I've often, spoken on here about, I came from a very abusive background. So I had to, that's how I learned from it, is to go, okay, I'm always look at the negative, the hurt, the pain, all the things that went wrong. And I went, wait a second, why don't I look at everything that went right by being in that situation? I could have stayed there, yet I found a way to get myself out.
mhm,
I started therapy with a hypnotherapist. I started, looking at things of, okay, what did it take for me to even reach out to somebody and share that story with somebody? Because it was very dark and very scary, and nobody knew about it until I was older, it became in my 20s, when
right.
I started going, here I am doing the work to go, who am I? Versus the stories that were projected onto me, all the hurt and the pain that was projected onto me. Let me look in the mirror and really see myself versus the stories. And
Mm,
then I had to look at, here I am. I'm talking to somebody, trust. It was a huge issue for me. I'm trusting this person to say these things, that I've never told anybody. And what courage does that take of mine? How much love for myself do I have that I'm willing to look at this darkness and go, okay, I'm ready to get rid of it. What's new for me? What's available for me?
right.
How can I look at life from the perspective of it's safe? I can
Mm,
trust. I can move forward. I'm more than the stories that I was told. And it was out of their fear, out of their jealousy, out of their inadequacies that were being projected onto me. And being young, I carried it. I figured, okay, well, this is what everybody does. I
right.
had no clue.
Right.
So what I look at is I'm really proud of myself. And that's why I share it so much, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are still carrying it. And that is somebody else's garbage that you're carrying around for your whole life.
Hmm.
And the other thing is, I've just been born with the gift of knowing and sensing and feeling things. And somebody can walk in the room and I know immediately what they need to do.
Right.
And I'm very sensitive. I'm very, caring and very loving. I can also kick butt with the best of them. And that's what I'm really known for.
If you hadn't taken up the career you currently have, you'd have been probably a good football coach.
Probably.
Loving, caring, and kicking butt. Yeah,
Kicking butt.
yeah,
But I'm kicking butt because that's what they deserve, to get
sure.
rid of all this crap, all these stories, everybody else's BS that they've been carrying. And unfortunately, we're little. We look up at these big people. They're big. They've been around a long time. They must know everything.
Right.
Big surprise, they have little kids inside of them.
Right. Right.
So by shifting your perspective of your past to go, okay, this is what happened to me, but because of that, who am I today? Why am I sitting here trusting and sharing and willing to look at things from that different perspective so I could change my life?
And this all great stuff, and it all relates back to what we were talking about in the first half of the show about when it comes to the ability to say no to something.
Mhm.
The reason you can do that, or the thing that allows you to do that, is your ability to know what is working and what is not working for you personally.
Yes.
And if it doesn't, then you just can say no to it. But
Yep.
if it's something inside of you, you don't get to say no to that. You got it. It's in there until you do something proactive to prune it out, so to speak.
To shift your perspective on it.
Exactly. exactly. So yeah, my bigger question was kind of like, how does somebody know that? And I think all the things we've been talking about making yourself a priority and all of that.
Yes,
And so, okay, I've learned how to say no to when this friend asks me this thing that they always ask me, and I know damn well they can do it themselves.
right,
I'm going to now say no. Why don't you go try it yourself? Maybe you'll learn how to do it. Now comes the inner work for ourselves, because there's nobody asking me. I'm not asking myself one of these things. I need your help, Bill, with something. No, it doesn't work that way. But again, when it comes to making yourself a priority, you can see if you take time, and again, like we always say, go for a walk in nature, pet the dog, do something to take
yep,
your mind off of things,
hmm,
and let the feelings. I want to be careful to use not to not say you're thinking about something, because sometimes thinking is just ruminating. It's just
yeah,
regurgitating the same
oh,
thing
yeah,
over and over again. But if you
hmm,
stop and you take a moment and like you said, like Vicky's thing, go walk in nature. I love that. Um, you know, for me, it happens in the shower all the time because I'm not thinking about anything in the shower. It's like, oh, wait, oh,
hey,
there's a great, something pops into your mind.
right,
So to make a long story longer, I want to encourage you to, and you, I mean, the listening audience,
hmm,
when those things pop into your mind, pay attention to that. Don't just say, oh, I'll, some other day, or I can't think about that right now. It's not a matter of thinking about it. It's what is it doing to you? How is your life being affected by
yeah,
things that are probably out of your control? You were
right,
given this, like Vicky said, as a little kid, you were given this because some authority figure that you looked up to told you something. And now here you are with it 40 years later, and you're still living your life that way.
right.
Maybe you want to do something about that. And as my friend, again, shout out to Dr. Ed. As Dr. Ed would say, maybe you'd like to make a different decision. That's all.
Absolutely.
And that
Yes.
and so I guess that's your job. You are the director of different decisions, different perspectives on things.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
really, and that's what I feel I'm best at because you name it, I've been through it and I see it from the perspective of, okay, this happened to you. Now, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to
right.
hold it for the rest of your life or you want to say, you know what? What did I learn from it? How did I grow from it? How can I inspire somebody else who's maybe struggling with the same thing to look at it from this perspective and shift, what they're holding on to and to let go of that so they can open themselves up to all new beginnings that are waiting for them.
And it's never ever ever too late for a new beginning.
Oh my gosh, I've worked with people in their late 70s, 80s. I had a 90-year-old friend that I worked with and he was just like, "Oh my gosh, I never realized I was holding on to this."
Right?
I said, "Well, that's what I do. I bring up, I can feel it, I know it, and I help you to see that there's a different side to it
Right.
and to come home to yourself."
Come home. Ooh, that's a popular kind of almost bumper sticker sort of a line, but it is important and I do like it. Tell me what that means to you. Come home to yourself. What is that? How does that work for you?
Well, I think in society, we're always thought of we got to think of the other person. We got to, make sure everybody else is happy, put on the smile and all this. Well, when you sit down with yourself for yourself, you're coming home to yourself. You're going, wait a minute, you're a priority. You matter. I love you. I respect you. I want to help you to heal your wounds. I want you to know that, you can move forward. You've got what it takes to create, to manifest whatever you're deserving of. So you've got to be your own best friend. You got to support yourself all the time. And that's my other big one, be your own best
Right?
friend.
Right?
And like I always say, you go in the bathroom first thing in the morning, who you looking at? Yourself, your own best friend. Start your day that way. What are you going to do for you? You're the priority. And then you're there, you're in a good space, you've got a lot of good energy, you got a lot of good attitude, you can share it with everybody else. But you have to sit with yourself. You have to love yourself, respect yourself, forgive yourself for some of the choices you've made based upon what somebody else projected onto you. You got to be kind.
Right.
So to me, that's coming home. going into to that little child who's inside of you, waiting to be seen, to be honored, to be recognized, to be loved, to be respected.
Hmm.
So yeah, we got to come home to that little person.
The self-respect part of it is huge. It really is.
It
And
really is big,
if you
very
if
big.
you if you dig deep, if I was going to say if you scratch the surface of most people, but you sometimes you might have to get a few layers down,
Oh,
like layers of the onion, like we always talk about. If you
yeah.
get down at some point, you're going to find that self-respect thing somewhere in there that somebody's going to go, oh, and I was 5 years old. Somebody said you'd never be this or that or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it may or may not have stuck in that one area. It may have expanded to include other areas. Who the heck knows?
Oh,
But
yes.
that's for you to do that again, that digging and pruning thing.
Yes. And that you are the one that has to go in there. I can assist you, yet you're the one that has to go back and, embrace that beautiful little child within and go, I've been so busy making sure that, I'm worthy of anything, and make myself available, to be present, to make sure everybody else is happy. I'm coming home. I'm taking care of you. I'm loving you, respecting you, honoring you. You're the reason why I'm still here, you
Right.
know. And yeah, you got to question some of the stuff that you've learned because everybody's got an opinion about everything. Okay. Some people agree, others don't. But there's
Right.
always going to be somebody else's opinion and they're going to project it onto you. And lots of times it's their insecurity and they want to build themselves up to look bigger and grander. But it's up to you to go, okay, what feels right for me? What
Right.
feels right for my little child within? And reparent yourself.
Right.
I mean,
That,
there's wonderful parents out there. I'm not saying every parent, but I'm just
oh,
saying,
sure.
fortunately, my dad was abusive. My mom was abused by my dad, and so she was just emotionally vacant. Grandma was my saving grace. Grandma was the only one in my family that really knew me, and she's still here with me today. And that's how I think I survived, is because I had her love and her protection.
Right. Right. Yeah,
And
that's
yeah.
so, all of that so important. But
Mhm.
again, it all starts with the recognition that the things that you were given or told or instructed or whatever back when you were a child, they are probably, I mean, I'm not going to say 100% because somebody might have already done their homework, but there's probably a lot of stuff still back there in the, you know,
Oh yeah.
in the back closet of your mind that is still controlling a lot of your actions today. Still, it just happens. It's just a thing. It just happens to everybody. It's not, you don't have
Yeah.
to be worried about it or embarrassed by it or,
And that's yeah.
whatever. It's just
Yeah.
the way it works.
And that's it, being embarrassed by it. I was embarrassed about it. I was, thinking, oh my God, people are going to think I'm, just this crazy, nutty person and they don't want anything to do with me. And I lived with that for years and years. And that's why I've so freely expressed that because this happened to you. Okay. This happened to you. You did not, create it. It happened to you. So what I look at, how much they trust me to listen to me, to want, to, get the help.
Hmm.
And then, going back to, saying no, like, being okay to set your boundaries. That's part of it. We had no boundaries. So,
Right. That's a good thing. Let's spend 2 minutes on that. That's important because again, when you're a young child and you're
mhm,
receiving your life's instructions, you're being programmed literally by the
right.
people around you, like a computer program. You don't, you haven't learned or had the experience or had the wisdom yet of knowing, okay, that's a good idea. Okay, that one's BS.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't
And I'm
have,
going to pay attention to this one and I'm not going to pay attention to this one. You don't know that. You
right.
don't have that luxury at that point. And
Mhm,
so everything goes in
yeah.
as, would I be right? You tell me. Everything goes in as truth. Is that
Well,
a good way to
yeah.
put it?
Because they're big people. They've been around a long time. They must know everything. So, okay.
Right. Right. And so I think that's how a lot of this stuff gets buried in us because we just accept it as truth and
Mhm.
we never bothered or we never took the time to actually give it a little bit of discernment, a little bit of, for lack of a better word, a little bit of a judging thought. Is like, is this helpful? Is this really good for me? Or is it just something I was told? So
Yeah.
I know. That's crazy stuff. Crazy. All right. Oh, I have a great story about that. And I don't know if I've ever done it on this show before or not, but I'm going to do it right now. When
Okay.
and this had nothing to do with parents, but I loved libraries and books, still do. But when I was, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years old or whatever, I thought, and this is when I do my TED talk, this is going to lead my TED talk. So people pay attention. When I was 5 or 6 years old, I thought butterflies were dangerous
Oh,
because I'm reading a book about nature and there's a picture of a little kid, probably my age, and a butterfly is landing on his head. And he has this look of surprise and shock, as you probably would if a butterfly landed on you today. And he had this look, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's biting him.
oh.
Butterflies are dangerous. Now, it didn't last long.
I
Thankfully, it
know.
didn't last long. But
Yeah.
I remember that that memory is stuck
Wow.
in there like glue, like concrete, that
Wow.
I had that thought.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could have carried that for years.
Yeah.
I would have been weird being out in nature with butterflies, but who knows? But I remember it clear as day to this point. And so there you go. I mean, the things that go in your mind,
Yeah.
in your consciousness, mind is a weird thing. Consciousness, well, it's all weird. The things that get stuck in there, I'm pointing to my
Yeah.
head. The things that get stuck in there stay stuck in there unless you do something to proactively go in and, here we go again, make a different decision.
Absolutely.
Simple as
Yes.
that.
Yes. And
Or
it is
hard
that
as that.
simple. I think it's, excuse me, I think it's as simple as that. When you are able, you grow up and you have a stable environment and you're encouraged to challenge things, because some people just accept things, okay, this is the way it is. So sometimes you got to challenge things and go, is this really fit for me? Is this, okay? And if it's okay, that's wonderful. And if not, go, okay, well, I learned something and now I'm moving forward. I'm going to, try something different.
Right. Right.
But as children, everything is just like what you see is what you get. We don't quite have that, I don't know, whatever call it, mechanism in our brain to go, okay, well, it's a butterfly and it's got these little legs, and it's,
Right. Right. Is that discernment? Maybe.
discernment.
Maybe.
Yeah, discernment. Yeah, discernment to figure out, okay, what feels right? Does it resonate with me? Do I feel comfortable with this? Or is it kind of giving me the heebie-jeebies? And I think I'm just going to step back and trust that, and
Sure.
unfortunately, I get a lot of feelings. So, and I do question them. Is it mine or is it somebody else's,
Yes.
and, because you have to, but the discernment is perfect. And it's the same thing. We're going back to, boundaries and is it okay to say no? That's discernment. Does it
Yes.
feel right for you? Okay, then say yes. If it doesn't, say no, maybe this person over here, or, why don't you look in this book and see what this says? Maybe you can figure it out or something. So,
And there's so much good information out there. I mean, one of the blessings and the curses of the internet life is that you can find information about anything. Some of it is complete and total hogwash, to use a good word, not the word I was thinking, but some of it's really good. Some of it's really, really good. And you don't have to go any farther than YouTube to find real experts in important fields and give it a listen and see if it works for you. And again, we're not saying that everything out there is true. Good God. It's, most of it is, well, again, hogwash, but there's some really good information out there. There's some really good ideas and there's some really good ways to help. And again, if you want professional help, that's what people like Vicky are here for. And me, in your own way, in my own way. But, so yes, so the blessing and the curse of 21st century internet life is that anything you could ever want is out there.
Right.
You just have to find it. And again, just to wrap up the show today, which is a good thing, that word discernment is
Yes.
so important. To me, it means, does this work for me? Does this, and I'm not a big touchy-feely person. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not.
You
Does
are.
it feel good when I experience this idea, this information, this whatever?
Right. Right. And going back to, the topic of no, is it okay to say no? That's okay. Sometimes it's important you say no
Right,
and be okay that, to just walk away.
right, right. Not today. Not
Not
for me,
today.
not today. Maybe not ever, but not today, for
And
sure.
and again, you give that person the opportunity to go, well, maybe I can do this. So how are
Right.
you building up their self-esteem, their self-worth by saying, you know what, you got this. You can do this.
There you go. You got this. I like
You
that.
got this.
You got this, folks. You got this, friends. All right. Perfect timing as always. So again, if you're interested, all the contact information for Miss Vicky and yours truly is in the show notes below. Keep your eyes open for the website,
Yes.
the practicalpathpodcast.com. And again, like I said, as you listen to this, whenever this podcast actually drops, it'll already be out there. So you can come by and say hi and do a visit and all that stuff. Don't know what's going to be there, but that will soon be revealed. So Miss
Perfect.
Vicky, a pleasure as always.
Same for you, Mr. Bill.
Thank you. I know I do that Miss Vicky thing, don't I? That's kind of weird. And there's a brand of Miss Vicky's potato chips, but they spell the Vicky differently.
I know.
So,
They have an E on it.
I know. I think you better get some of that. Yeah. Demand a piece of that company or something.
I still eat them.
Okay, good. All right, everybody. Have a great week out there. Take good care of yourself. Practice a little discernment this week.
Yeah.
How's that?
And no is okay.
And no, it's okay. And we will see you next week. Thank you again. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.